Welcome to Middlebury Park and Recreation Board meeting on June the 17th, 2026. Welcome, everyone. We have two members missing today. One's on the Outer Banks in North Carolina, and the other is taking a sick child to urgent care. So we've got us, but we've got a quorum.
All right.
So anyhow, let's take a look at the minutes from the last meeting, and I guess that was May, not April. Is everybody happy with the minutes? Do I have a motion to approve?
I wasn't here, so
I'll
I don't
I'll
know
motion.
if- Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, have a motion. Do I have a second? Me. All in favor of, say aye.
Aye.
Minutes are approved, and I am going to sign it, and I'll give it to Mary as going in the record. How's that? All right. Next item is public comments. We're just thrilled to have Mary here. You can be public and the boss, okay? Mike is not here again. The financials, everybody looked at the financials. Any question on the financials? I didn't, but I walked off without my iPad, so I can't even pull it up. Okay, we'll consider the financials just fine. And Tom, we'll keep rolling through here on the superintendent report.
Yeah, just a lot of, as you guys know, storm damage has been keeping us going, but just need to brag on our guys for a little bit. So last Friday, both Jim and Andrew had the trail cleared and stuff picked up, at least piled up in Kreider before about 8 o'clock.
Yeah.
And then we went out and, picked up, used the grappler and got those piles taken up out of the way, and the trail was blown off probably before 10, and we were still able to water flowers that day and get the properties mowed. So it was, they worked hard.
Yeah, I'll say I had some Amish guys at the bank that were definitely complimenting you guys on how quickly the trail was cleared off. Maybe some debris, but the big stuff, they were able to come from Shipshawana and so that was, and the one by East Spring Street, that was a huge tree, and I wasn't gonna tell you that until end of the week, but you guys got to it, what was that, Monday?
Monday,
Yeah, that was impressive.
Yeah, that's the one side we didn't get to at River Bend. Got on the other side, the east side of River Bend, but I didn't get over to the west side.
Yeah.
And, then Al sent a picture of it. Well, just one picture, and the picture is very deceiving, because it just looked like a normal-sized tree.
Yeah, yeah.
But, so I told the guys about it when I was, something. Anyway, so they went to take a look at it. And I met them, and they're like, yeah, we're gonna need more equipment. It's a massive tree, which took down 3 other decent-sized trees, and then a handful of saplings, and so that one tree, that one group took us about 3 hours to clean up. And now today, they're picking up some, because we had to move a lot of that, big stuff just out of the way. There wasn't even enough room in the sides of the woods, so we had to move it out of the way, off to the side. So we're gonna pick up that type of stuff today, and there and another spot, they're picking up stuff, along River Mill Trail, and taking that all to Public Works today. So, but luckily, nothing, major down, where it caused a lot of damage besides just, landing on property, and nothing at Kreider that got damaged, so.
Well, we'll be hopeful we don't have a repeat
Yeah.
today, this evening. Okay, park projects. Riverfest, Tom?
Yeah, we're rolling right along with that. We do have kind of a theme now. Riverfest, Web of Life. So we're going to be kind of focusing on the different animals that live in water habitats and kind of like the food web, the food chain, and different associations between certain animals in aquatic environments and stuff. And so that's going along pretty good. Did get a couple big things kind of confirmed as far as our food vendors and the main people for the live animals guys, and Dara from Elkhart County City, and so still waiting for some of the smaller vendors, exhibitors to turn in their sheets, but those should be coming. So we're doing okay.
Wonderful. Landscape Committee, a number of things going on here. This Saturday, the 20th, we have the Sundial dedication at noon at the Sundial, at the Kreider Rest Area. Tom and Merlin and I sat down for a few minutes and just talked about how to go through this. I'm going to give an introduction and a little history on the vertical sundial that begins back at the World's Fair and then carry through how we walked through the process to get to where we are today. Merlin's going to talk about the design, the construction, and he's got some really interesting detail that people will like. Tom then will come back and wrap us up and talk about things in the parks coming on behind that. So I think we've got a nice program. Have no idea if we'll have how many people may have or not have. So
Is that at noon?
is it noon? Noon. It's something interesting happened out of this, and is that we had one photo of the sundial from the World's Fair, okay? And so that's basically, number one, what spurred the project. Said, hey, listen, we've worked on either saving or redoing or constructing things that were at the World's Fair or doing something like the World's Fair, i.e. But anyhow, my granddaughter, I was telling her about this, and I had to like, she says, send it to me. Well, faster than I can tell you, she colorized it
Oh, cool.
and ended up in more detail.
Oh, wow.
So that's just an item of interest. I'll figure out how to use that come Saturday. The Landscape Committee had planned to, and they're going to happen, have a tour. We're going to go on a road trip all the way to Wellfield Botanical Gardens on June the 23rd. And we've asked for a guided tour because just talking about things that they're doing that maybe we can learn from, long story short. Everybody's welcome to come if you want to. The Oriental Garden, we had one more piece. Tom added a sculpture into the Zen Garden.
Yep.
Turned out nice.
Yeah, worked out pretty well.
Yeah.
Char's design, that
Yeah.
she basically just used landscape blocks and stacked them in a kind of pagoda type shape. So I think that was on the park report, which I got ready for, which I forgot to say this during the thing, but I got ready quickly for Monday's meeting at the town council because we ran out of time last week. And then I don't think I've sent it out digitally to anybody, so I will send that out to you guys.
Well, our plan was that when we got the Oriental Garden kind of finished with it, where we are today, is that we were going to have a nice article in Middlebury. So we'll see. How and if we do that is yet to be seen. But the Oriental Garden has really turned out nice. The other item in regard to landscape. The museum is putting their 250th celebration on July the 3rd. Everybody welcome to come to that. It's, they're going to have food trucks, band from 2 to 4 p.m., Civil War reenactors, kids game, museum tours. And our part, we volunteered that we would do, if people would so desire, patriotic garden tours, or red, white, and blue thing, or red, white, and bloom, excuse me, thing.
Yeah.
So, the other item has to do with flags along the pumpkin vine from Bristow to the bridge. Those are in-house, and we will get those put in place. So that's kind of a number of things going on from landscape. Barb, trails,
Trails does not meet in June. Other than, so the big news is the trail damage, from storms. So
well, Wayne Street looks nice.
Yes.
Wayne Street looks excellent.
Yes.
Thank you for making a lot of that happen. I've had people comment to me on Wayne
Yes.
Street.
Yeah, same here.
Hopefully, we can do something with the other portion next year.
Yeah, people are just very appreciative of having that, so thank you.
Major improvement, thanks to all. Pumpkin Vine Advisory, Tom, was there a meeting along the way?
No, we should have one next month. But looking forward to getting more into the information about that maintenance fund that they got, which is just going to be a complete game changer. Yeah, there should be a lot. And there's always a lot of good stuff coming from the Trails Coalition and the PAC group, but I think going forward it's getting even better.
Yep.
So really looking forward to that.
Okay. Friends of the Parks, I guess the only thing I'd mention there is the street has had improvements and patches and asphalt laid down. The parking blocks are in place and painted.
They're not painted.
They're not, it's not the color, they're going to be yellow then?
They might be, but we're also hoping to, I know it would be probably an annual thing. We want to try to paint the lines too,
Right.
to help with that diagonal parking type. Yeah, and then the signs still, the signs have been on, we were hoping to get to those signs like a week or so ago. It just, well, it's still top on the list, but.
That's
just hasn't
fine,
got there
that's
yet.
fine. The tree clearing, I see has started at least.
Yeah, that's done. There's some tree, so trunks basically left over that we're just gonna end up moving down by the pond and just kind of setting,
Okay.
horizontally on the ground to kind of almost be a buffer between the pond and the woods there, and there's no need to really take off-site, I don't think. And probably the best thing, so who brought up that guy? I can't remember who, during one of our meetings or discussions, I think it might have been at the FOMP meeting, someone brought up Thomas Eicher. He's the guy that we use. He works for the very, very part-time at the fire station, but he's basically wanting to get his business, which is Hook and Axe, I believe. Young kid, 22 years old, something like that. Strong, full of energy, so, and pretty, very reasonable pricing. So,
That's who did the work.
yeah. Yeah, but he doesn't have a lot of equipment, but he rents it and just uses what he needs it for, and, I've already got another project he's gonna be looking at, so.
Good.
Yeah. He might kind of end up taking place of what we used Aaron Smart for many years. And Aaron's he's just so busy, and he's not getting any younger, and so I get that.
We understand that.
Yep.
Okay, property acquisition, Tom and Tim, and meeting with MACOG.
Yes, so Mary and I met with MACOG last week, virtually, and so we had lots of questions going in. Questions about, what they can do, and any obligations that we would have to do as far as, how much it would cost, would there be any cost towards us initially? Would we have any long-term obligations after the assessment type stuff would take place? And really, pretty much all the answers were positive in our favor during that conversation. If we want to go forward, they would have to get approved internally and then by the EPA contact they have to be able to get the grant money. It sounded like that was almost, just they're pretty confident about that part of it, but obviously have to wait and see. And that would be 100% covered. And then, one of our questions was like, okay, we do all this work, you guys do all the work, and then all that's done, and we decide not to go for any further, are we going to have to pay back anything or something like that?
What is the work you're referring to? What is that?
Oh, I'm sorry. So it'd be basically assessment of the dump area, which could.
Mapping the whole
The
thing.
mapping, as far as the dump delineation, would be like the perimeter of the dump. And last we discussed, we were going to have 2 parcels they're looking at, separate. Oh,
To develop. And so we're gonna have to have sign off by, the owner.
yep.
Property line.
Yeah, like if we decide, so, and another thing is that as part of the assessment would potentially be water monitoring wells too, they mentioned. Yeah, so before any of that works would be, to happen, we'd have to contact the owner, make sure he's on board. Yeah, I think they have a form they talked about, and, so that's probably the next step for us, is to see if he's willing to go along with that, because if we don't go forward with, we do all this testing and stuff, and then we find out, oh, it's just too much, and we don't want to go forward with it and get the property, like she said, now it's recorded, it's, the IDEM has that information now, would they go, potentially they could go to the owner.
It's in their virtual file cabinet.
So as far as exposure to them, if we don't go forward, and then is there a liability for, them knowing about it and now,
Yeah.
and if somebody gets hurt or something, in that space, then it's, okay.
So is IDEM the group that's doing all of the work on this, all of the?
So it would be
For purposes of high level, yeah, okay.
And so what would be the findings that would make us just sort of like walk away from it? I mean, just the quantity, the level, just what they find.
I would think it'd be the amount of cleanup, I guess, what that would look like, how much we'd have to do, the quantity of it, the cost of it, the recommendations of it, I'm still a little, because you brought that up, I'm glad you did, as far as trying to limit the study area on what we're just gonna use, as opposed to the whole parcel.
because they said that you probably would want to like fence it all, and
Anywhere else?
If you didn't, you know,
Full
do a full cleanup.
cleanup, yeah.
And did, oh, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, so there's just steps that
Yeah.
we need to take.
Did-
Like cleanup, it doesn't necessarily mean, deep soil cap, and that could be considered cleanup for what we need to do there. But you're not gonna wanna do that whole area,
Right.
you know, so that's why they said you might need to fence it off. Just have to keep people out.
So if it's 8 acres, and this probably isn't the right, wouldn't be the right number, but
It's pretty close, yeah.
if it's 8 acres and we want to try to do 2, so we would be able to say, this is going to be the path back, this is where it's going to be placed, and really just look at that.
Yeah.
And then did they say they believe trees should be cleared? I mean, if that's the best thing to do, I don't know,
They didn't really say.
okay.
I mean, I think if you're
Yeah.
They did say something about a management plan, which that's something I need to start working on of just like a, you know, if trees were to fall over and pull up
Okay.
trash, you know, our management plan is to dispose of that trash and cap that hole that created
Okay.
it, type of a thing. And then also, you know, of the 8 acres, this is what we're gonna propose for the development, and this area we're gonna potentially fence off or something like that. So there's, and probably have a couple alternates in that management plan, so we can, if we do wanna go further and eventually build like a boardwalk, potentially above ground, I don't know. That could be one of those many years down the road, potential type projects, but, at least it'll be in the plan,
Leave the door open.
yeah.
So what is the next step? Is it for the, take this to the town and have the?
So-
ta-
And then, and then we need to get the form for somehow what they need for release to allow from the other property owner to allow us and them to go onto their site to do this.
And that management, they want like a draft management plan,
Okay.
which that plan can be modified down the road, but they just want at least something to start with.
They want that before the findings?
Yeah.
So as a part of the delineation, they probably won't have like necessarily cost estimates at the end of that, or would they? And necessarily who would pay for that? Because that would still be part of our grant finding or any kind of, we don't know, that would be early.
Type of cleanup would be 100% ours unless they were able to like figure out something through Indiana Brown's field,
Okay,
like a grant.
right. A better shot.
Interlocal agency that does all these agencies and pulls you all together. So we have kind of the best of all worlds, to have some guidance, because if you're out there trying to figure this out on your own,
Oh,
it's
yeah.
a little overwhelming.
Do we need anything from the park board to proceed at this point in time?
Do you want me to email you out
Oh,
like the sketch, and if that needs to be moved a little bit?
I'd just be curious where it is. I mean, where it's located on the property. I mean, just to know,
Yeah.
you know, but
And then, do you want, I didn't know how big of a
Yeah.
We've had some,
It's been a little while since we've
oh, we
visited
haven't
that.
looked at that plan
yeah, we've
forever.
had sketches and da-da-da-da-da.
When do you need to know this? Like, can we stay afterwards and talk about it a little bit? Just,
Yeah, we can, I've got
Yeah, yeah, but,
But he can
Yeah.
yeah, okay. So I'm
And
thinking,
we-
what's the size of River Bend right now? What is that? And that
Right.
gives me a visual to know, okay, that's
Yeah.
30 by 50, or, I don't know.
Yep, yep, we can talk a little bit more about
Yeah.
afterwards.
Okay, I think that's a good idea, and that, but getting something down on paper, the visual,
Yeah.
I think is a major next step. Just,
Is the,
Then, yeah, go ahead.
sorry, it's the only place it can go. It's kind of back in there, right? It's
Yeah.
not like right at the, because of the, yeah.
Far
okay.
east, northeast corner, basically, behind the vet.
Oh, of course.
centered right in
Oh, that's true, it is, it's not quite the corner.
the cemetery.
Yep,
Yeah,
It's
yep,
kind of centered.
okay.
yeah, because we've,
I can print out a map.
okay. Yeah, and I can, I can even do the sketch part, that's probably not, especially if you need to go home and get some rest.
Is that you that, Mary, that's contacting the owner, current owner? Okay.
Yeah.
And then you send it on to
And
him?
then talk with them,
Yeah.
explain stuff
Yeah.
and say you need to talk with your attorney.
Yeah.
But-
So if he said, too much risk, I'm just gonna not do this, then we're done, basically.
Yeah.
Much.
yeah, we're done, he's done.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Programs, Tom?
Yeah, hey, we got our first music in the parks tonight, or not tonight, Friday night.
Ta-da.
We're all excited about that. This guy, I've talked to several different people from all over the place, and they know him. He's, guys in South Bend, some people in like Edwardsburg, some old friends of mine. And, oh, really? He's coming? So it'd be, might have a good,
Thing on Facebook about it at all,
no?
anywhere.
Okay, I think there should be some, in the
Yeah,
queue
yeah.
or the planned.
For some
thing.
reason, I thought it was tonight. And I thought,
Okay.
well, then it's not gonna be tonight, but yeah, okay.
Oh, yeah, no.
All right.
So looking forward to that. Hopefully have a decent crowd show up. It looks like the weather's gonna be really nice. So, and then you already mentioned kind of the next other programs, the Sundial, which is the very next day, and then 4th of July, or 3rd of July. And then our next concert is 17th, I believe, of July, which is the kind of the end of summer fun and the end of the library reading program, summer reading program. So that's going to be One Lane Bridge. Doing that, so.
That's great. This is not a park, it's not necessarily a Middlebury, but it's kind of a community thing. That, in the Bonneville Cemetery, which is between here and Bonneville Mill on County Road 8, there is a Revolutionary War patriot, William Tufts, buried there.
Oh,
And he's the only known participant in Indiana of the Boston Tea Party.
Yeah.
So the Daughters of the American Revolution have got a program on Saturday, July 25th at 11 a.m., and it's called the Boston Tea Party Participant Marker Ceremony. And so that's just an item of interest that I'm drawn into that because my sister is a major DAR participant, so it's an item of interest. It's a community.
I believe there's a tree planted at the museum in honor of him.
there is, it's struggling. Yeah, yeah, we go by, yeah, it's struggling, but they may replace that, I don't know. I also think the week of leading up to the 3rd, the library's doing various 250th kinds of things, and there is a walk in River Bend on the 29th at 5:30 about Potawatomi history.
Yes.
And I thought that would be really interesting, yeah, especially since it's in the park. I don't know what other kinds of things that they're having, but they've, and it sounded like it was a very knowledgeable person leading it, but I can't say
So
who
it
that
started,
was.
who's putting this on?
The library. It's
The
through the
library.
library in Riverbend Park.
Yeah.
And there may be other events that week. I just haven't.
Might need to get on their
Yeah, I think there's a lot of, there, people are starting, other groups are starting to use the parks more, which is really great for us, and
Yeah, especially something like that, because they're not using the pavilion, so it's not taking up pavilion
it's
space.
a walk.
Or
It
rental
was
or
on
anything,
their
so.
Facebook page.
But that could get a lot of people to that.
I think it will get a lot of people. Because
Nice
it's
day,
really,
anyway.
I'm surprised they didn't do Miami too, because Potawatomi and Miami were here, but yeah, it's Potawatomi. So,
I'm surprised they haven't talked to us,
well,
at least in town.
Well,
What's going on?
well, I got a phone call about it
Okay.
from Sarah, I think. So,
but they've got a lot of stuff going on right now. So anyway, I just thought I'd bring that up.
and speaking of, just real quick on the library, it was a couple weeks ago, they had that dinosaur,
Oh, yeah.
ducky dinosaur search, and they had hidden all these little small ducks that looked like dinosaurs in all the parks, and they got a hold of us before that to let us know about it, and boy, that had a lot of people in the parks. That was a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Crider,
Yeah.
Memorial, East, and River Bend. And it just got a lot of people out into the parks, exposure. It was pretty cool.
It is.
This is,
Oh,
June 24?
Yeah, next Wednesday.
I'm glad you brought
we
that
should
up.
put that out too.
I forgot about that. They sent out actually, I didn't get the initial email. I got a forwarded email from somebody.
So what time again?
It's at 4.
I have a neighbor who, we all walk our dogs in Crider and all over, and it was carrying something in his mouth, and it was one of those dinosaurs. It's like, hey, I found a toy, Mom, look.
It's mine, I'm gonna keep it.
It's mine, I'm keeping this dinosaur.
I think they're planning to do that again, but they admitted that the staff, they had to go back out and re-hide dinosaurs so often. There was just constantly
Oh, sure.
turnover like that, and they were a little wore out. They're like, boy, we didn't think it would be this popular. So, and they had some decent prices they were giving away.
Okay, communications, I guess we've been dancing around communications right now. Mary put out an email here the day before yesterday in regard to Middlebury Matters, and it basically quarterly, number one. Number two, parks would have a one-page front and back. And anything else you want to add to that?
If I'm remembering in your email, Mary, which I appreciate your thinking about all of us because it's tough right now. You also mentioned a mailing that was to the broader ZIP.
And I was trying to like figure out a way to
Right.
and so currently what we do is
Yeah.
everybody
Do we know how much that would cost? Yeah, that would help, and then maybe we can,
and what I was thinking is if we did it that way, then it would almost be best to do it every day direct mail instead of putting it into the utility bills.
I'd really like to explore that option. I mean, in addition to, but you don't need to do two.
Well,
But,
yeah, we would just need to try to figure out, number one, what the cost would be, because you have to
Yeah.
have it set up a certain way,
yeah,
you know, to do that, and then
yeah,
outside.
right. Yes,
So it just,
Yeah.
but I do think, though, I mean, our user base is so wide that I would really prefer, well, not prefer, I mean, I would like, love both, but then that's kind of duplicate work, but I would really encourage us to look at this wider.
Think Starfleet would be willing to help?
I don't know, but I think if we just figure out costs first and the frequency, if it's 4 times a year, because quarterly, we can kind of look ahead quarterly, sometimes we can't for the whole year, but,
I can figure out the cost fairly quickly.
because didn't we do a landscape, didn't we do a flower fund flyer
Yeah.
that way at one point?
It wasn't to all, because there's, you know, obviously we want to try to avoid over duplication of the inside the town limits that's already
Yeah.
getting it, so. I want to say we did,
Because you've got some,
we
go
did 3 routes one time for most of the flower ones, and then I think the FOMP one, we actually did, last year we did 4 or 5 routes. Yeah, and I can get on their tool.
And that got, not everybody, but quite a bit of the
yeah,
outside of town.
yeah, I guess I would like to explore that, and if
Sure.
we can do that. When's the next Middlebury Matters coming out?
it'll be,
Okay, so we have a week or so to figure it out, and then we can do that. Because there's a lot of good events this summer and there's a lot of them. I just think, you know, we're going to be missing some things, and we're talking about things in here that we should probably know about, but we don't, you know, so,
Exactly.
yeah, I know. So, yeah. So Tommy will do that.
Yeah, I can do that.
What do you call that?
It's every door direct mail.
Create?
The print,
Okay.
so the big difference,
Print them in-house? Okay.
the big difference between the EDDM and just a normal flyer that you send out on your own, because you have a trifold, right?
yeah, this, if we would switch to it, otherwise, we would just do a pack fold.
Okay. Because it has to be a certain size and a thickness for that EDDM. So you've already got that figured out as far as,
We would do, yeah, we would do a pack fold, and then they would probably put a
tab, sticker thing?
type thing.
Yeah,
lid.
that one side would have to have that insignia and,
Right.
yeah.
We do all the folding in-house. I mean, we would do that.
They would.
Or did they do it? Okay.
Yeah, I mean,
So it's printing and postage.
Yeah.
And there's not a fee from the post office to do this E EDDM?
Yeah, but that's the postage part. That's the ED.
That's the postage, okay,
Yeah.
there's not a fee on top of the postage, okay.
No.
Okay.
depending on how all this works out, maybe we go to every other month or something.
I know.
It's trying to like you know, like,
Well, I would like us to explore this other option, and then we'll know a little bit more about what's doable and not.
Ongoing.
I'll send that out email once I might be able, I can probably do that today even.
Old business, I think we've talked about the 250th celebration.
I got something extra for old business.
I'll throw one here, Tara. This is something that was on my plate that I didn't get done. And we had talked earlier about doing a plaque on Clarence Westorp and putting it on the windmill. And then do maybe a little news release in regard to Clarence Westorp and Kreider Garden and the nurseries and what he did. I should have done that several months ago. I will put that on my plate today and move that forward. The costs, Tom, I don't know, a plaque, $100?
Make a plastic plaque, yeah, probably or less.
Everybody's okay if I spend $100. We'll do. We'll work it out.
Unless you wanted, one of those cast aluminum,
Yeah.
used for the memorial ones. Those are a little more expensive, but then you also, depending on what you have on it, as far as words and stuff, it's, if it's lengthy, it can get kind of expensive.
Well, let Tom and I kind of work through that. I'll work on the content, and then we'll put our heads together.
Yeah.
New business, we talked about storm damage. Let's hope we're not talking about storm damage tomorrow morning. Tom, we wanted to talk about Riverbend concert, food trucks, artists selling CDs, and et cetera.
Yeah, basically just need to get a motion for you guys to approve to have food trucks and the ability for the artists to sell some CDs and we might as well just clump up all three concerts together, because I'm assuming that all three artists wouldn't mind selling some CDs there. So to waive that, the ordinance for selling in the parks for these three events.
I'll move that.
Barb moves that we allow food trucks and artists selling CDs at Riverbend concerts throughout the summer of 2026.
I'll second.
Now we have a second. All in favor say aye. We're in business. We think I got a duplication there in Middlebury replacement that we've already rolled that around. Is there anything else from anybody else?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, excuse me, you didn't.
So the bridge at Riverbend Park. We're still trying to keep that closed. So one thing is we have a board across both sides, and there's been a couple times that board has been ripped off. Currently, it's still on there as of yesterday on both sides. But we're looking at maybe trying to somehow reinforce that so no one can get on. And even the way it is now, if you kind of go up the sides of the railing, you can still get around that board. But and then tomorrow, myself, Robert, Mary, hopefully she's feeling good enough, are meeting with Evan Marsh Engineering to look at the bridge and to potentially get a full set of plans to create a new bridge, get rid of the old bridge, get a new bridge, get some stream bank stabilization upstream, and get a cost on what that would be for the engineering, and then, of course, estimates for the actual project. There's a little bit of as far as wanting to get some extra funds to help with that. So the Community Foundation's fiscal year ends June 30, and so the 2027 fiscal year starts July 1st. We can kind of get a twofer if we work really fast and get an application in by Friday. I've already talked to Ray yesterday about this. And he said actually the deadline was Monday, but he's willing to allow us to do it this week yet.
For what portion of the work?
To be for the engineering, to help cost for the
Engineering,
engineering. So I'm going to throw that together pretty quick, and hopefully at least get a ballpark number from them tomorrow. So hopefully, you know,
Call them today and ask
okay,
and explain that you're trying to do
okay.
it. Just
Give them a heads up, yeah, about that. Okay. All right. So hopefully we'll get like, you know, $5,000 to $7,000 for the engineering, and then we can go and reapply for the actual construction of the, you know, the full project. And they're in their 2027 fiscal year. So, but with that said, I'm gonna pass, I guess I only need three. This was the projects that we started with in 2026, and kind of some funding attached to them from our different accounts. Line items. The green, as you can see, are things already done. Oops. Oh, yeah, that's right. Got the toolcat, which, by the way, the toolcat has just been a lifesaver in so many different ways. It's been very, very good. So so the one thing we don't have, which we'll know really soon, maybe even later today, is the total amount that's going to be coming out of our 441 line item for the improvements at Wayne Street. Okay.
Yeah. This was the article that was supposed to be in the May in Middlebury. And this was the key thing, is people explaining that.
If she gives me some of the files, we can put some of that stuff on Facebook.
That would be, this is what I was going to, okay. Elma is, she won't be back for a week, but I'll check.
Okay.
If I do, I will.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yep, and I'll.
Okay, thanks. Good luck with the doctor. So the improvements for Wayne Street is going to be around between $10,000 and $12,000. That's going to actually be coming out of our 441 improvement fund. And so basically that means that would have already spent, well, you know what? That $2,000 from the LED lights, that actually happened in 2025. That was 2025's budget, so we still have 30,000 in that 441 line. So after the Wayne Street Bridge, or Wayne Street Trail, we'll end up having around, 18 available. But now that we have this engineering for River Bend Bridge, we might have to just hold off, wait to see how much that's going to cost, how much Community Foundation wants to grant us money, and then most likely most of that 18 is probably going to have to go towards engineering. So all these other projects will probably have to just be put on hold. We should be able to still do like the covered bridge, or covered bench, the third item there. We should also be able to do the landscape rake for the gravel trails. We actually built something in-house, but it didn't work as well as we thought it would, so we probably gonna have to buy an item that goes onto the tractor. But some of these other things we'll just have to hold on. The electric upgrades at Memorial, about halfway down, that's mainly for festivals. So once I get a quote for that, which Power Light is supposed to be giving me, I talked to him just the other day. He's like, I need to get you that quote. I was like, yeah. We can see if the chamber is willing to help, and because it's mainly for the chamber and the festivals. Hopefully they'll be able to help out quite a bit on that part of it, if not all of it. But yeah, I think, so I just want to talk real quickly down at the bottom, the upper brick path. That's a big number right there, right? 70 grand. That's for replacing the entire upper brick path and reusing the existing brick. They gave a quote for new brick was like 89,000. But I talked to them afterwards, we could chunk that out and, one year do like a quarter of it, a second, the length of it, and then next year do some more, and kind of start maybe possibly with some of the worst sections. So that's a possibility. Obviously, it's probably not going to be happening this year with this bridge. And of course, if we potentially go forward with the old vet land and the whole, restroom project, we're gonna be, stockpiling money for that too, so. The good thing about the, upper brick, we've been repairing it, every year we make repairs to it to make it so there's, the little dips in the push-up areas, so it's not terrible. But it's just, it's a decent amount of maintenance, so.
Bricks in there.
Yeah. So I just kind of, I guess, just a little update on this, and we're kind of in a waiting pattern again as far as seeing what the bridge is going to cost. So I'm assuming that you guys agree that should be the kind of the priority at this point for the bridge. Yeah.
Yes, definitely.
I'm biased, but.
Yeah, no, I think it should, especially since the top part of Wayne Street got
Yeah.
done.
Yeah, for sure. That was
Yeah,
definitely the
so,
priority
yeah.
before, and now.
Right.
Yeah. Perfect. All right, thank you.
This is the flood one.
Yes. Thanks. I think that's it, Bill.
That's it.
You good? Turn it
Great.
End of
Thank you.
meeting. Thank you all.